Welcome back, you guys, to another episode in my PrimeXBT leverage trading series. I love this series because it's a really in-depth look at leverage trading and a lot of low time frame trading and how it works. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. And if you've tried out PrimeXBT, I also hope you're enjoying it. Just please understand that it is a cross-margin exchange. Cross-margin works a little different than isolated margin, where your whole equity is on the line for each trade. So if you can put, a little bit extra equity in there and use small amounts of that equity for your trades, I think you can really find some success because you don't have to be immediately right on your trade to still make a profit. Again, that's as long as you're just putting some small equity into your trades and letting your positions kind of build a little bit on that. But that's how cross margin works, you guys. If you haven't tried it out or you want to learn more about it, please watch my PrimeXBT sign up and intro tutorial. All right. And do some practice before you really get into it. Okay. But the topic of this video today, you guys, is going to be how to identify targets. All right. Take profit targets. How do we identify them? Do we do it all at once? Do we do it in percentages? What do we do with our stop loss after this? What happens if our trade goes against us after it hits our first target and things like that. So I hope you enjoy this video and let us get right into it. In our last video, we talked about setting stop losses. So if you haven't watched that yet, make sure to check it out. Today, we are talking about targets, finding take profits, because the whole point of trading and investing is to make money. And if you're not ever taking profit, you're not technically making money, right? So here on Sol, we have a very clear bull flag breakout, well, bull pennant, I should say. So what you're going to do there is you're going to have the triangle, and then the flagpole length is going to be your target. So I'm going to take that up here from breakout, and you're going to see my target is going to be around 147. So logically, 150 makes sense as a good target, and I like target zones. So I would just draw a target zone up here and say that 145 to 150 is a likely target area. Could it go higher? Yes. Could it go lower? Yes. It could stop here and go back down. This is just the target from the pattern. Is it going to play out? I don't know, but we're seeing some nice high volume here, so it's very possible. And if I would have entered on this breakout here, I'd already be in profit. I could tighten my stop loss up a little bit if I want. I could take some profit if I want to. So here is how I look at this. So I see a very major resistance here. All right, this would be a resistance because we had a very harsh breakdown. So I would look for reaction here, and I could consider making this my target one. All right, anytime I enter a trade, I like to have at least two targets. So you would see here that my target one would be this first major resistance, and from breakout, that would be about 7%. Now on leverage, if I did a 10x trade, that would actually be 70%, right? That's a great profit on leverage. If I'm in spot, I might handle a little differently. Usually when I'm leverage trading, I like to manage my stop losses tighter. I like to take profits a little bit quicker and things like that, because leverage, price move, percentages move quickly. So we have a target one here at 7%, and then we have a target two here at 30%. That's great, right? We love 30% gains. So a lot of times at target one, I'll usually just shave a little profit off to cover my stop loss. So let's just say I entered there and I have a stop loss below this EMA here. All right. So my stop loss is down here. My entry was here. So that gives me about a 3%, little over 3% stop loss if I entered here, and a 30% reward. So risk to reward is great there. But not only that, I have a 3.5% risk. So how can I manage my risk here? I could tighten up my stop loss, all right, and hope to let this run to full target. That's one way to do it. So I could move my stop loss up below this big high volume candle, which is pretty fair. That's a very high volume candle. I would not want to see price retrace below that anyway. I'd want to see continuation here. There's a very strong candle. Sol's been a very bullish asset. For a chart like this, I could totally consider just trying to let this run, right? I tighten up my stop loss here because if this is mega bullish and this is a breakout, it shouldn't go below here anyway. So that puts me at like less than a 1% stop loss. Anytime I enter a trade, I also like to make sure I take some profit from it, right? So I have tons of options here, and this is where you get to learn about different options and kind of make your own strategies, all right? If I leave my stop loss here, all right, then I still have 3.5% risk. I'm up 7% here, so maybe I take, I don't know, maybe I take 25% off the board, all right? So if I had a $100,000 position, I have 3.5% risk, that's $3,500. I take 25% off the board at a 7% gain. That means that I'm up, $7,000 right now, and I'm taking 25% of that, which is about 2,500-ish, give or take a few bucks, right? So that puts my risk at maybe $1,000. So I'm okay with that risk. My reward is still, 30% of $75,000. Or I can tighten my stop loss up here to make that also a 2.5% risk. All right. So now this is a break-even trade. No matter what happens, I'm breaking even and I'm not losing money. That's great. Do I want to make this a profitable trade out the get-go? Then I would put my stop loss at break even or at less than 2.5%. And now I'm guaranteeing a profit from this trade regardless of what happens. So a lot of it just depends on your confidence in the trade. Sometimes if I'm in a scalp and I see some signs changing, like maybe my take profit's a little bit higher, but I see some, change of momentum or something that I wasn't expecting, and maybe I'll take, rather than taking 25% at my first target, I'll take 50%, or maybe I'll take 60 or 75% at my first target. Like, let's just say that I think Sol here is just, maybe the 4-hour chart looks like a mega rejection and I've got some bearish divergence or something. And I'm like, oh, I don't think this is going to work out. I actually really kind of think that this is going to fake out and then come back down here and then go up. All right. Well, that would stop me out of all my stop losses no matter where I had it. So on that case, I might just say, you know what? It's a $7,000 gain. I'm going to take 75% of that. And if we break up here, I'm going to let this run and I'm still going to make 30% on $25,000 position. All right. So there's a ton of ways you guys can do this. And there's no right or wrong. It's just about maintaining profitability. All right. And I always like to make sure once I have a nice price action move that I'm able to recoup something from the trade. All right. And that's just me personally, especially when I'm trading on low time frames, because low time frames can trade so quickly. On these higher time frames, like a 4-hour chart, it's best to be a little patient. And yes, this is a major resistance, so we might get a little low time frame rejection, but overall, this is a very strong 4-hour candle. There wasn't much sell-off, not very high upper wick. There's almost no upper wick. So for this looks like a strong candle, and we would expect a breakout and continuation. Now, it doesn't mean it will happen, but that's what we would expect. So yeah, you guys, for patterns, they give you very clear targets, and my first target is always going to be the first major resistance level. So here you see the first major resistance level. Above there, there's pretty much open air. So sometimes if I see a slow in momentum, like let's say we see another huge green candle on the next 4H, and then the next 4H is a huge green candle, and we kind of stall here and start to see some weakness. Well, at that point, I'm up 24%, and I could potentially get an extra 4%. All right. Or it could potentially go back down to this major support level, which, because remember, it's resistance. Once resistance is broken, it turns into support. And that would only put me back at 8%, 9% profit. If this starts to fizzle out and I see momentum slowing down, yeah, we could consolidate, pop up, and then go back down. All right. Or, obviously the options are endless. We could just go here and then go straight through, right? But point being, if I see a loss of momentum here, just a few percent from my target, and I'm already up, 25%, I'm usually just going to take most of the profit. Like maybe at that point I'll close 75%. And because I'm not going to try to wait for an extra $1,000 when I'm up, $24,000. I don't need the extra $2K if I'm in such a nice profit on a trade. A lot of people just will take profits and stop losses and let whichever end run. So if they hopped in this trade here, they would set their stop loss here, all right, well, wherever they would set it, and they would set their target at the pattern target. They'll put their limits here, they'll put their stop loss here, and they'll walk away and they won't look at the chart until they get an alert saying that the profit target has been met or the stop loss has been met. Nothing wrong with doing it that way either. A lot of times I will set these targets, I will take profit a couple percent early, and my target will get met, you know, a few hours later or the next day or something. And it's usually really quick to the target before you get a rejection, because again, that's where if I'm taking profit there because that's a pattern, well, a lot of other people are probably taking profit there as well because they saw the pattern too. All right, so I've just flipped to the Bitcoin chart and we'll talk about another way to look for take profit levels. So let's say I nailed a really sweet short up here on Bitcoin. And if you haven't watched my when too long and when too short video, then you should definitely watch that as well, because you would know that you would have a better short opportunity here than trying to knife catch somewhere up here. So let's just say I short this area here. All right. And I'm looking for take profit levels. Well, here is a breakout area. So this is going to be a support. All right. And below there, you can see just on my chart, there's not much else. So let's just say I'm going to have another take profit area here. And let's say it's going to be at my 99 SMA, which is constantly moving up. So it's going to be a kinetic target. So the longer it takes to drop, the higher my target's going to be. All right. So this is going to be target 1 at 46,700-ish, all right? And then target 2 would be down here at 44,500-ish, all right? Well, now you can see that it didn't reach in hindsight, but how could I have known that it might not reach, or how could I have maybe taken a lot of profit, right? How would I know to take more profit here than normal, maybe? Because from this point, you see some really nice strong selling, nice breakdown. Again, it consolidates for a while, which would make you a little concerned that we couldn't break through this and flip it, okay? But not only that, let me just draw a line here, all right? Let's go to the daily chart, and we're going to see that we were actually sitting right at daily support, all right? So we have a daily support level right here, this support, and we're just above it. So it's going to be tough to reach this target 2 immediately anyway, because daily support is going to be stronger than my 4-hour support. All right. Higher time frame support levels or resistance levels are always going to be stronger than your lower time frame levels. So knowing that, I've got a nice trade here. I'm up in, you know, let's see, 5 or 6, almost 6% profit, non-leveraged here. If it was a non-leveraged short, just a 1x short, 6% profit, okay? That's a solid gain on a position. We're stuttering out. I would probably want to take some profit here, all right? And maybe tighten my stop loss to break even or into profit, just in case you see that we don't touch our target 2, because I would want to make this a profitable trade. And so there's obviously a million possibilities that could happen here. You can consolidate, break down lower. You can consolidate, break down higher, and then go lower. You can consolidate and just go back straight up and stop you out, right? So this is why I like to take some profit from these trades, because likely if you shorted here, right, you were likely stopped out or close to being stopped out here, and you're currently break even or underwater in a trade that you've been holding now for over a week. To take no profit from it is just not okay with me. So I need to find some way to make profit on these trades once I have profit. All right. So again, you guys, there's a million things you can do here. You can just trail your stop loss when you get nervous. Like here's a big rejection, so I could trail my stop loss here. And then when we break down big, I could trail my stop loss above this candle. So then I'm locking in profit all the way. And so I'm not taking profit down here, or maybe I'm taking partial profit again at my target 1, right? Which for me, usually I take some sort of profit at my target 1, because that's like a for sure thing for me. My target 1s hit probably, I mean, they probably hit like 60 or 70% of the time for my target 1. My target 2 is going to hit less often, all right? It's just how it goes. But I almost always can catch this quick drop to my target 1. And then target 2 is like, am I going to get this acceleration breakdown, or is it going to chop around, then maybe go down later, or just chop around for endlessly and before it picks a direction? I've always noticed that the faster something goes to my target, the more likely it is to rebound. So if I have more of a series of consolidations here, I would probably feel better about it rather than it just going straight down. And for me personally, you guys know that I don't like to even wait for these small percentages. So here is a 5% drop. For me, waiting for an extra an extra 1%, I probably would have taken at least 25% here once it kind of started to stall. Because you could see here that if I enter up here, this is a very nice, quick, stress-free, easy trade. I'm not getting nervous by this big rebound. Before it goes back lower, I can always take partial profit here, add back if I feel good about it. There's just so many ways you guys can go about this. So I really hope I'm giving you good ideas for you to be able to build off of and make your own strategies, because that's what it's really about. It's making a strategy that works best for you. That's all for today's video, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please smash that thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and follow me on Twitter at Nebraskan Gooner for tons of more great video content and charting. Peace.